Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Toast Time. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Jackson Law and our extraordinary producer Courtney. Now, listen, I gotta roll through my buttery, and we gotta get into
No intro. Anthony's hot today,
we gotta get
so
into
we
what's
just
been
we just
burning
got
me.
to
So
get
I'm
through
gonna
this
give you
quickly
my
as
buttery.
possible.
I'm gonna give you Yes, exactly. I'm gonna give you guys my buttery. Jackson's gonna give you his, and then I'm gonna go off. Okay, so let me give you my buttery.
Should I just like go through all my picks so that way like the second half of the show is like just for what you've got going on?
You good. Because I'm gonna need to. We're gonna need to stop me every little
Gonna
bit.
gonna gonna need to
I will,
decompress in
I
between.
will just rant for about an hour if you just let me talk. So, here's what we're gonna do. Okay. So first up, my buttery. I was debating on not even having a buttery this week because nobody, in my opinion, deserved to be buttery, except for my precious Dogecoin. So Dogecoin is my buttery because Dogecoin's at 13 cents a share right now. Dogecoin, I made about $1,000 yesterday off its astronomical rise, and it's only going to keep going up from here. Coinbase listed it. Coinbase is going public. On top of Mark Cuban already accepting Dogecoins for Mavs tickets and Mavs apparel. Okay, this thing is not going to stop anytime soon. Dogecoin is going to, at least in my opinion, I think Dogecoin will one day be in like the $50 range to $100 range. I mean, listen, if people are going to start accepting this thing as legal tender, and you're going to have Coinbase who's going to broker it and have it on their digital wallet. I mean, I just don't see how it doesn't fly past $1. I mean, hell, when I bought it in the summertime, it was fractions of a penny. Did I really think that this thing was going to be anything? No. Well, today it's 13 cents a share, and it's stayed that way since yesterday. It's still hovering around 13 cents, 13, 14. So it's only going to go up from here. Okay, the Dogecoin army is back,
Yeah.
and believe me, I'm the face of Dogecoin. So you will all be hearing from me.
This is one of the greatest rises in the history of anything, because like when you look at cryptocurrency, like you see Bitcoin, like that was like a rich person's game, that was just like something they were doing. This is just people doing it in spite of themselves. This is people just being memey on the internet. Like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we had this thing called Dogecoin? You like the Doge meme? We made a coin with that dog's face on it. Let's make it into a real currency. And literally tens of hundreds of thousands of people are just like, yeah, I can get behind that. And like you said, Mark Cuban is accepted. I saw Mark Cuban said they've accepted like 155K in Dogecoin already. Yeah. And that was before the big jump. Imagine how much money Mark Cuban has made off of Dogecoin.
Just made it. He probably just made like at least $1 million.
It's nuts. And this is without Elon Musk even tweeting memes about it too. Yeah, so imagine
wait till he jumps back on and starts
tweeting about Dogecoin. Which, I mean, he's on the Bitcoin train like right now. He's made over $1 billion since its initial investment in Bitcoin in February.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
$1 billion since February.
$1 billion.
$1 billion. He is the type of man that would put a laser on the moon.
I don't doubt it.
Listen, if Elon Musk
put a dog on the moon.
If Elon Musk wants to take over the world, you know what? It's whatever, man. There's one guy I'd let him do it. It's probably Elon.
It's gonna happen.
I mean, if the man's gonna reinvent indentured servitude when he starts settling Mars, and you know what? I'll be one of the first people to sign up for it. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's the Irish in me and signing up for indentured servitude. It's kind of something that we do. So my buttery pick, I'll try to quickly roll through them here so that way we can get to your rants, Anthony, because the rest of your picks all kind of connect.
I got about 6 rants, so go
ahead. So I'm going to be a homer on this one. I am going with Grizzlies starting center Jonas Valanciunas, because this man this past week, honestly, the past 10 games has been on an absolute tear. The Lithuanian giant over the past 10 games. This is his averages over the past 10 games. Shooting 50% from three, 65% from the field, averaging 13.4 rebounds and 21 points. All right. And if you want to know, here's the stat lines for the past 5 games. 2010 against Miami, 1911 against Atlanta, 2014 against the Knicks, 34-22 against the Pacers, 26-14 against the Bulls. In a 2-night span, they played the Pacers and the Bulls back-to-back nights, scored over 60 points and had almost 40 boards in 2 nights. Give the man, I'm not saying that he's like the best big in the league, you know. I'm not going super ultra nerd fan homer on this one. He's just playing lights out right now, and I want him to get the recognition that he deserves. The big man from Lithuania is pretty much been the best player on Memphis, and him and the Grizzlies are finally going to get to showcase. They finally get an ESPN game. They're finally on national television, and they always suck when they're on national television. They always become the worst part of themselves. So, I'd suggest, hey guys, go watch my Grizzlies. This is the one time, but maybe you shouldn't. Just catch the highlights afterwards, because they always suck on nationally televised games. So, but shout out to the big man. Jaeger.
Hey, board man gets paid. I respect the big body hustle down there in the paint. I love when guys go and just have that old school double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, or in Val's case, he's getting 20 points, 20 rebounds.
Oh, I love that. I have him on my fantasy team. The man gets me like 30, 40 points a night on my fantasy team. 100%. It's outrageous.
Get him on your fantasy team. You're stacking right now. I don't blame. I think I played someone who had Valanciunas, I think, like 2 weeks ago. I mean, I beat him because I have the best team in the league, but Valanciunas did ball out. I think Valanciunas made it like somewhat close. Yeah, because Valanciunas just wouldn't stop scoring like 40 points or more a game. Because in my league, you get more points for a double, and I think it's like 2 points a rebound. So like he was just stacking up the points in that one. But I like Valanciunas. It's not like he was ever a bad player. He just I feel like maybe being with the Grizzlies is kind of helping him out, because there's not so much like no one really talks about him anymore. Like when he was in Toronto, that's like all people talked about was Valance damaging the Raptors for some reason, although I thought they were pretty decent with him. But anyway, Twitter, NBA Twitter is pretty dumb, so that's what they did.
Very dumb.
But anyway, I will go and watch your Grizzlies and just hope that they don't choke. It's okay.
Yeah, they play the Mavs tonight, so it's...
Yeah, don't worry. My Lakers, without LeBron or AD, managed to beat the Nets and then lose to the Knicks. Don't really know how that worked out, but...
Yeah, it's tough scene out there, man. Tough scene.
Yeah, we just need those. I need those two back. But anyway, okay, here we go. Hold on, I gotta open up my phone. I gotta go and look at my list to make sure I'm on the right one. Okay, here we go. First up, my burnt toast this week is none other than, I'm calling him backup because he's not the starter, but backup first baseman who is forced to play because Luke Voigt had to get hurt. As usual with the Yankees, injury bug strikes before the season even freaking starts, is Jay Bruce. Jay Bruce is a walking sack of dog turd. He sucks. He is literally hot garbage. He's hot garbage. If you could make an equivalent of Jay Bruce right now for the NBA, my NBA equivalent of Jay Bruce would be Lakers Kwame Brown. Like, that's how bad Jay Bruce is. I cannot stand this man. He has no approach at the plate. All he does is strike out. It's absolutely ridiculous. His defense is subpar. I don't understand. You cannot sit there and tell me that Mike Ford could not play a better first base and have better at-bats than Jay Bruce. Jay Bruce has... I'm not saying he's single-handedly losing us games, because there's like 10 hands in that pot right now, but he's definitely one of them. He doesn't help the cause at all, or he doesn't help try to turn it around. The dude, I feel he has one home run. It damn well might be his only hit of the year, is one home run. Jay Bruce is terrible. He is not Cleveland Jay Bruce anymore. He sucks. If I was Brian Cashman, and I'm going to get to Brian Cashman later, but if I was Brian Cashman, I'd take Jay Bruce and send his ass to the freaking sun, okay? And bring Mike Ford back and bring up Derek Dietrich. But I don't know what they're going to do because for some reason Cashman's got this thing where he just wants to sit there and watch a guy struggle the entire time, losing the Yankees game after game after game. But hey, do what you want. Do what you want, Mr. Big Shot GM, who hasn't won a World Series in how long has it been? 11 years? Please. Okay. You can go ahead. I got more.
You got one out, man. I love hearing New Yorkers talk about their teams, man. It's so great. I love it. There's nothing like it. Maybe Bostonians talking about the Sox or the Celtics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really don't have too much of a comment. When you talk about that he hit, he's got one home run and it may be his only hit. That's like Matt Carpenter for the Cardinals. He hit a home run yesterday. It was only his second hit of the season, which he's kind of washed now anyway. But
yeah,
that's about the only thing I can equate it to. Is sounds like your guy is like a washed baseball player on his last legs that's probably never going to see the field again, considering the standing ovation that he got at Busch Stadium and the reaction of the bench, everyone in the dugout, high-fiving him and clapping and, standing up with the crowd as he's walking out and waving and stuff like that. So, but this is your backup first baseman that's having to start because of injuries once again. So that's tough. That's tough. All right. So we'll move to my burnt pick. In my burnt pick, I haven't done I don't want to say celebrity because he's a personality. Let's leave it at personality. A mainstream media personality. I haven't done it about this guy before, but it is about a topic that just pisses me off to no end because I don't see how people can, I don't know why Justin Fields is falling down people's boards, but this is Chris Mortensen and his take about why Justin Fields is sliding down the boards. Now, we all know about the scientific theory. We all know about how science works. Science, it's, you try to find solutions to problems, you come up with theories, and you try to test those theories. But that doesn't mean that just because you can do that doesn't mean that you don't have some stupid theories out there, okay? Like, there's theories about the pyramids were built by aliens, all right? Like,
yeah,
it's a theory, but even if there's aliens or not out there, whatever, you guys get the picture. Chris Mortensen decided that he was going to put on his analytical hat here, and he's like, I know the reason why. I have the answer why Justin Fields is skyrocketing off the top of the draft board, and it's because the man used to play baseball. Yeah, that's his reasoning. That's his reasoning.
I know.
It's not like Kyler Murray.
Quarterbacks used to play baseball.
It's not like Kyler Murray got drafted in the first round by Oakland. He got drafted in the first round by Oakland, and then was a first round draft pick for the Cardinals. He played baseball in college. Yeah. Russell Wilson played college baseball and then goes pro. Justin Fields hasn't touched Justin Fields has not touched a baseball diamond since 2018, since he was in high school. Do you know that? It makes no freaking sense. It's just like the guy didn't do his homework. This is what Mortensen says. This is a quote from him. It says, people don't realize that Justin Fields was a big-time high school baseball player. He was actually going between two sports, and then the pandemic, those type of things might have messed with his mechanics a little bit. Stop, dude. Just like this is the stupidest theory ever. Like it's a stupid answer to a question that I've been trying to ask, which is why Justin Field is falling off of people's boards. You know, it's the reason why if Justin Fields falls out of the top 10, I may legitimately explode. If we're doing live draft coverage on Vendetta this year and Justin Fields falls out of the top 10, I may just walk away and just let everyone else like talk and do their thing, and I'll just like have to go on a walk outside or something. But this is not the reason why he's falling, okay? I could tell you that much. His mechanics are fine. It's not because he freaking played baseball, okay? He hasn't played baseball in 3 years, okay? He went through his full time in college, went to the college football playoff, set a lot of records at Ohio State, did all these amazing things. And just, I don't even know what to say, dude. Just Chris Mortensen, get him out of my face. Get him out of my face. Just the old man on dying networks just get him out of here.
Yeah, you know. That's what ESPN does. They just hire dying old men and just sit there and just let them say whatever they want, screaming at the kids to get off their front lawn. That may be one of the dumbest reasons I've heard for Justin Fields dropping. Nothing tops it. I mean, because he played baseball. Russell Wilson played baseball. He's a pretty good quarterback. Kyler Murray played baseball. I'd say he's pretty good. I mean, I don't really understand. Actually,
Tom Brady played baseball. Tom Brady played baseball. He was drafted.
Tom Brady played baseball.
He was drafted as a catcher.
A lot of NFL quarterbacks played baseball. They were like, that's just what you do. You're super athletic, so you play more than one sport. That's normally what happens with these guys.
Yeah, you got a good arm. There's two mainstream American sports that involve throwing. So yeah.
I would imagine Justin Fields will go and play baseball. Like, oh, I got a pretty good arm. Let me go. I'll go try play baseball. He's probably pretty damn good at it too. That's just so asinine and so stupid. Oh God, I can't even. And they pay this guy. They pay this guy to say stuff like this. That's what kills me.
They pay him more than I guarantee you the three of us make in a year.
Oh, 100%.
I would take half his paycheck to spout stupid nonsense.
Yeah, really.
Half of his paycheck, half of Nick Wright's paycheck, Colin Cowherd's paycheck. I would take just the loft in New York that Skip Bayless probably has to spout his all of his rants, and then Max Kellerman also.
It's a lot of really dumb people on TV nowadays. But hey,
it's hard to watch now.
Yeah, I definitely hear you, man. But anyway, now going on to my extra crispy.
Back to the Yankees, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on. Okay, here we go. My extra crispy is Aaron Hicks and Giancarlo Stanton. Now, why did I pick Aaron Hicks and Giancarlo Stanton? Because they both suck donkey turd. Okay, the both of them. Aaron Hicks can't hit a freaking beach ball right now. This man is batting like 137. He is god awful. He's been
179. I got it up right here.
Okay, thank you. 179. And Giancarlo Stanton is worse. He's bad. Giancarlo Stanton's batting somewhere in the 140s, the 130s. It's ridiculous. Let me talk about Hicks first before I talk about Stanton. Hicks has just been this guy that's just been plaguing me for years. I'm sick of looking at Aaron freaking Hicks getting up to bat. I don't care about his on-base percentage. Like last year's on-base percentage was really good. Well, guess what? That didn't happen in this year. You know what he's doing this year? Hitting weak ground balls to second, striking out a whole lot, not buying any hits. He can't do any. I mean, this guy cannot do anything. They batted him leadoff today, sucked. They batted him in the third hole for like 5 straight games. For what reason? I don't know why. Had like 1 or 2 hits. It's embarrassing how bad that this guy actually is. And Giancarlo Stanton, my oh my, did Derek Jeter know what the hell he was doing? Derek Jeter went and gave us this washed up, roided out, just always getting hurt, glass bones, paper skin, a former MVP that doesn't even open his eyes when he swings the damn bat. Watching him swing a bat gives me agita. It really does. I cannot watch Giancarlo Stanton stand up and swing the bat. He closed his eyes, hopes for the best. He literally, if it's not a fastball, he's not hitting it. I really want people to go and watch his at bats. Watch his at bats game after game after game. If it's not a fastball, he cannot hit it. He really can't. And if it's also not right down the middle, he's not hitting it. It's an absolute joke that this guy ever won MVP back in the day. You know why? Because he played on the Marlins, and all the Marlins teams were always down by like 10 runs. So the pitchers just wanted to get the hell out of there and were just throwing fastballs all the time. That's why his stats were so crazy. And you know what? And back in 2018, when we started this whole injury bug nonsense, we went back to this injury bug thing. Okay, Giancarlo Stanton had like 33 home runs or something, 100, almost 100 RBIs, batted 270. Yeah, well, guess what happened in the playoffs? Come playoff time, the dude had like one hit and like 7 strikeouts. I really don't want to hear it anymore. I'm so sick and tired of Giancarlo Stanton. Honestly, I really wish we would just cut him and eat the money. But the Yankees are too damn cheap to do that. Even though they got more money than freaking God himself, they won't just accept the loss and move on. It's like God. Sometimes having diamond hands, it works in the wrong way. These guys have diamond hands with just shit stocks. That's what it is. Hicks, Stanton, they're just shit stocks they're holding on to for no goddamn reason. Just cut them and cut your losses, move on, get somebody else. I'm just sick of looking at these two specifically getting up there and striking out every single damn at bat.
Wow.
Okay.
Part two, yeah.
Part two,
yeah, they're both batting horrendous. I've brought up the Yankees team stats, and it's just.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna lean back and read them.
I mean, it just looks bad. Hicks 179, Stanton's 175.
God awful.
On base percentage is below 300. Slugging percentage below 300.
Disgraceful.
Yeah,
better with a broomstick.
Like it's bad. And I mean, normally I would like, you could find comfort in the fact that it's only the first 2 weeks of the season, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Like this is looking kind of bad.
See, you bring up a very good point, Jackson. Now, why am I? Some people are going to say I'm overreacting. Yeah, let me get this out of the way right now. For any weird Yankee fan or whoever the hell on Twitter that goes and watches the video and then wants to go and start saying, or for me to calm the freak down because it's only 2 weeks into the season. We haven't won the World Series in 11 years, however long it's been. All I'm seeing from this team is the exact same stuff that I see every postseason when we get bounced in the ALDS and the ALCS. This is all I'm seeing, the same exact thing. Terrible approach to plate. Can't hit with runners in scoring position. The situational hitting is abysmal. We are allergic to sacrifice flies. When I tell you, it's really hard growing up and having guys like Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez and Mark Teixeira and Robbie Cano who actually knew how to situational hit, get sacrifice flies. I grew up with guys like Nick Swisher who, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Nick Swisher was not that good, but I loved the man because he knew when they needed one run, just get the ball in the air and score the run. I swear I couldn't even tell you the last time the Yankees had a sacrifice fly. We have to be bottom in the league in sacrifice flies. All we do, all we do is just try to hit the ball 500 feet. Well, I'm sorry, guys. When there's nobody on base, hitting a 500-foot home run only counts as one run. It doesn't count as 5. Okay? I'm so sick and tired of the approach that we take at the plate. When you can easily watch teams like the Astros and the Dodgers, the Royals of 2015, how do they win World Series? They singled people to death. That's what they did. The Royals especially, they singled people to death. They didn't hit moonshot home runs every time. They literally had a merry-go-round of just base hit, base hit, base hit, base hit. And I can't even get my guys to put the bat on the ball because all they're trying to do is put it into the seats. Oh, God, it's so I could do better.
It sounds like baseball when I was like 13, 14. Like
I haven't
when we were
played
finally
baseball since I was 12 and I could do better.
It was like I mean, it's like it sounds like they're trying to hit it like we were when we finally discovered that we could hit home runs.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
When we got to that age where the field was short enough, but we were strong enough to get it over the fence. It's just sad. That's sad, dude. That's sad. And honestly, like it sounds like you guys need to get a new training staff. You need to fire that training staff.
Oh,
completely.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny, Jackson? We got a new one.
Oh, well.
And the same thing kept happening.
Well, something's going on.
There's got to be something in the water. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, what's in something about New York, I guess. You got all those World Series like, 50, 60, 70 years ago, and the players then were, it's like, give us the World Series now and then in 70 years and then in 2020 and beyond, just let the team suck. We don't care anymore.
Wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what happened.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. In case you hadn't heard, your favorite Renegade Sports Media Group has its own Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media to support our efforts to continuously bring you sports, gaming, and other media coverage as only we can. We've got 4 different membership tiers. For $3 a month, we'll give you a simple thank you on our Patreon site. For $6 a month, you get a thank you and you get to become a recruit in Jackson Law's Vendetta University Gaming Series. For $10 a month, you get everything from the previous tiers, a special thank you at the end of our videos, free access to our upcoming Discord chat, and a free koozie after 4 months. And then the big dog, $50 a month, gets you everything from the previous tiers, as well as opportunities for Fantasy League invites, stream gaming, possible invites to mock NFL and NBA draft sessions, a once-a-month Google Hangout, and after 4 months, a free t-shirt. Yeah! Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media and help us to improve our pledge to bring you the best sports, gaming, and other media coverage.
All right, so for my extra crispy pick, 1 second. Oh, I'm choking over here. I'm dying. My extra crispy. All right, so before I get into it, Anthony, because I haven't got to talk to you really since like this whole situation had started to drop. All right, Julian Edelman, Hall of Famer, yes or no?
No.
Good man. Because my extra crispy is the group of people led by the Colin Cowherd that say Julian Edelman should be in the Hall of Fame. That he is for sure, without a doubt, a Hall of Famer. It just ain't it, Chief. Yeah, no. Okay? That's not it. All right? He doesn't have the sets. Like Colin, for every good thing that he does like 5 bad things. For every step forward, he just like takes a leap 100 yards back. It's like having a positive 3-yard run, and then on the next play, you get a holding penalty and an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So you go back 25 yards. And then the next play is intentional grounding. So then you lose another 15 and you lose the down. That's like what it's like with Colin Cowherd watching an episode of The Herd in one day. I do not get why people think Julian Edelman should be in the Hall of Fame. And they all say the same thing, too. They all say things like, it's a great story. Yeah, it's a great story. I'd watch the hell out of a Netflix series centered around Julian Edelman. Guy has no scholarship offers. He's playing quarterback at Kent State. Gets drafted in the 7th round. Comes in for an injured Wes Welker. And then runs a touchdown back on his first kick, on his first punt return. And then I thought the video was great that came out where Bill Belichick
Oh, when
was,
Belichick was talking to Welker. Yeah.
yeah. And I forget the example that he used, but he was just talking about how there's a good baseball player with a great baseball player
Yeah, I think it
right
was
behind him. Yeah. Lou Gehrig is like
Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig
yeah.
and
The guy that Lou Gehrig backed up. And he's like, that's what happened here. He's saying it right to Wes Welker's face. I thought that was hilarious.
We might have the same situation here.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny. And Julian Edelman is a great guy too. And I think he's going to do a lot of great things now that he's going into retirement, especially with like a lot of the anti-Semitism stuff that's been popping up. You got the Myers-Leonard thing. I forgot what happened like last year too. Someone was talking about the Holocaust or whatever. I can't remember the full details of everything about who it was or anything. I just remember something happened last year too. And in both instances, Julian Edelman has been like the guy to step up and, talk about that stuff, willing to have those conversations and stuff. So, and it's nothing against him personally, because again, I think he's a great guy and I think he's a great NFL player. But that's the thing. It's not the Hall of Good. It's not the Hall of Great. It's the Hall of Fame. These are the people that change the game. These are the people that put butts in the seats, both in the stadium. They're the reasons why that in the playoffs, if you go to church, you're skipping out on church. You're taking, if you're Catholic, you're taking mass at home or something. I don't know. You're chilling at home and you're going to watch like a team play. Just read a verse and then move on. And I just don't get it. Why people are saying that when someone like Hines Ward is not in the Hall of Fame, doesn't even sniff the ballot, you can't talk about Julian Edelman being in the Hall of Fame. Because let's compare the two real quick. Career wise, catches, Hines Ward 1,000 catches, Julian Edelman 620. Hines over 12,000 yards receiving. Edelman has a little over half that, around 6,800. Touchdowns, Hines has 85. Julian 36. Super Bowl MVPs each have one. Hines has been to 4 Pro Bowls. Edelman's been to 0.
How was Hines Ward not in the Hall of Fame?
How is Hines Ward not in the Hall of Fame? I got an even crazier stat for you for this. All right. Here's a bit of trivia. All right. Of the categories that I just named, this is turning into from just Julian Edelman, people saying he should be in the Hall of Fame to Hines Ward not being in the Hall of Fame. No, shame on you, the committee that votes on the Hall of Fame, for not having Hines Ward in there, because that man was basically the third best receiver for all of the 2000s. Like you had Terrell Owens and Ocho Cinco, and then Hines Ward was there, and like Randy Moss also was in that mix, but that was kind of at the tail end of Randy Moss's career. Anyway, that's beside the point. And all the categories that I just named, so except for Pro Bowls, but in catches, yards, touchdowns, and Super Bowl MVPs, Hines Ward has more than this first ballot Hall of Famer. And here's the hint. He was just voted in on the 2021 ballot. Wide receiver.
Calvin Johnson.
Megatron. Man had a better career than Megatron. Super Bowls, Super Bowl MVPs, more catches, more yards, more touchdowns. Megatron's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and Hines Ward doesn't even get a vote.
This is criminal. Wow, this is actually criminal. That's crazy.
It is. It blows my mind. So when Hines Ward's not in the Hall of Fame, the man literally has more stats, more pedigree than Calvin Johnson, who everyone for the entirety of his career is like, that man's a first ballot Hall of Famer, because there's no way Julian Edelman can sniff it. And by the way, Calvin Johnson has made it to 2 more Pro Bowls. Okay. So Calvin Johnson had 6 and Hines Ward had 4, but Julian Edelman also has none. Okay. So stop with the Julian Edelman talk, move off of that. And the push needs to be to get Hines Ward into the Hall of Fame. That is a receiver that deserves it. And if you don't think he was tough either, this is a man that knocked out Ed Reed, okay?
Yeah,
Went to
I remember
battle
that.
with that man. Ed Reed is one of the greatest defensive backs to ever play the game. And go watch that hit. You cannot lead with the head on blocks anymore because of this single play. This just destroy like Hines Ward destroyed Ed Reed on this play. You need to go watch it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I'm sure it gets Steelers fans hyped everywhere. I'm sure Ravens fans don't much care for it because that's their boy Ed Reed, getting knocked out. But it's criminal. Both things are criminal. Stop the nonsense. Put someone that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame like Hines Ward.
Yeah.
Love Julian Edelman, great player, made some key catches for that second Patriots dynasty, but he's not a Hall of Famer.
No. I think if anything, you could I would say Julian Edelman, you could put him at like, he could go into like the Patriots Hall of Fame. Like I know like each team has like kind of like their own Hall of Fame. Like the Giants call it like their ring, like we call it the Ring of Honor.
100%.
We call it the Ring of Honor and put their names up around the stadium up in MetLife. So I think that's probably it. Right. Julian Edelman is not a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have the numbers. He just doesn't have it. He's not a Hall of Famer. He was a very, very good player, but he's not a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry. It's just it is what it is. The only piece of Julian Edelman that should be in Canton should be the gloves that he used to make that play in the Super Bowl against the Falcons.
Yeah.
Where the ball got tipped up in the air and he caught it over like three defenders. Those gloves should be in the hall. Wherever David Tyree's helmet is, Julian Edelman's gloves should be like right next to it. Like that's exactly what should be there. Other than that, like that's it. He shouldn't have he's not going to have a bust, with all the other NFL greats over there in the hall. It just doesn't work. It's just not it. And Hines Ward, I this really just brought this to my attention because I had no idea about. I'm gonna be truthful with you. I didn't even realize Hines Ward wasn't even in the Hall of Fame until I seen someone say it earlier today or yesterday, whatever it was.
Oh, it's criminal. Absolutely criminal.
I was like, wait, Hines Ward is not in the Hall of Fame. I was like, I was like, what? I just thought he was in. I was like, are you kidding me? So that's ridiculous. He absolutely needs to get in, and they need to do one of those things where like, listen, guys, we messed up. Like we need to get him in the Hall, and that's 100%. They need to do that because that's just criminal. You can't.
Yeah, just one more time. Again, I'll give you the comparison stats between Hines Ward and Calvin Johnson, who was universally agreed to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when he retired, and he was on a team that really did nothing. Okay. Yeah. So let's see here. Receptions career-wise, Calvin Johnson, 731 to 1,000 catches for Hines Ward. Yards, 11,619 yards to 12,083. All right, and I get the idea. Calvin Johnson was more of a big deep threat also than Hines Ward was, which is why you get the discrepancy in like yards per, catch and whatnot. Touchdowns, 83 to 85, extremely close. Again, the Super Bowl MVPs, Hines Ward wins in that because Hines Ward has the one.
And being a wide receiver winning Super Bowl MVP should count as like a lot. Like obviously in Julian Edelman's case, he doesn't have the numbers to really back that up. But with Hines Ward having all those things and the Super Bowl MVP as a wide receiver, I think that counts a lot, in my opinion. I mean, that's crazy that he's not in the Hall.
And we really point towards Calvin Johnson. What got Calvin Johnson into the Hall of Fame was really 3 seasons right here. It was 2011 to 2013 is what got him into the Hall of Fame. And I'm just not seeing the numbers here. These are crazy. Listen to this. 96 receptions, 1,600 yards, and 16 touchdown catches in 2011. 2012, the man had almost 2,000 receiving yards. He was 6 yards short. If he catches one more pass, He is at 2,000 yards receiving in a season, and then he had another almost 1,500 yard season the season after that. So Calvin Johnson,
Yeah, so Calvin,
I mean, he belongs in the Hall of
yeah.
Fame, 100%. But so
He
does Hines
does,
Ward.
he does,
That's
but
the
Hines Ward
thing.
does, as well. And that's just crazy how Hines
Because
Ward
we
is not
also
in the
can't
Hall
take
of
it to consideration. Oh, what if Calvin Johnson played to like Calvin Johnson probably still be playing. Like, let's be real. Like, Calvin Johnson is such a beast. He'd probably still be playing in the league, but we can't think like that. We have to look at his career
Fame? Yeah,
as his career.
exactly.
Like, that's the end of it. So Hines Ward should be in the Hall
Exactly.
of Fame.
Yeah, 100%. And
And
Julian
he's got a
Edelman
big Super Bowl
should not.
catch too. Hines Ward has a big Super Bowl catch. He caught Super Bowl catch in 2006 that secured the Super Bowl for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now the committee's got that one way wrong. Oh, way wrong. Just like my soggy toast, way wrong. should not be wrong, but we keep doing this anyway. My soggy toast this week is the Yankees over just like their stupid obsession with starting Gleyber Torres at shortstop. The man is a second freaking baseman. He is not a shortstop. He played second base almost his entire career. Now you just move him to shortstop because you were too damn cheap to re-sign Didi. You didn't want to re-sign Didi. That's what we got to deal with. We got to deal with the guy playing out of position. He's not as good as a defender as Didi was. Gleyber does not have the arm to play shortstop. He doesn't have the range to play shortstop. He doesn't have the speed. He really doesn't have anything to play shortstop. That's why they put him at second. The Yankees really need to realign their lineup, okay? They need to really think this through. My perfect Yankee lineup would be take Gleyber, go back to second. You're gonna have to trade Voit for one of the shortstops that's going to be a free agent coming up, and then hopefully re-sign them. And by one of them, I mean either like Trevor Story or Javier Baez. That would be wonderful for me. And then put Gio Urshela at third base. But you know what? The Yankees aren't going to do that because the Yankees are a bunch of assholes. They're a bunch of idiots, especially Brian Cashman. He's a goddamn moron. Like this stupid move. Because I know that Aaron Boone is not the one doing this. I know it's the upper management telling Aaron Boone what to do. Probably because some stupid crap with their analytics. I don't know, analytically, Gleyber Torres should be put at shortstop.
Analytics has ruined baseball.
100%. And this is just getting ridiculous.
It's crept into the NFL or the NBA, and the NBA is starting to get bad, and the NFL is going to be there very shortly too because it's already starting to get there.
I'm sick of watching this guy play shortstop. He's not a shortstop, and it's affecting him at the plate too because he's been struggling at the plate, all because he's making botch after botch in the field. Like the entire team has got errors galore. The Yankees are just playing sloppy as hell right now. Regardless, but putting Gleyber out of position does not help, especially at shortstop. And they just refuse to move him. They just refuse to do it. They see that it doesn't work. And I'm tired of everyone being like, oh, you got to give him time. You got to give him time. I don't want to give him freaking time, okay? I think for me personally, 12 games is enough for me to see that Gleyber Torres is not a shortstop. So move him back to second, end this dumbass experiment you got going on, and move on, please. Because this is like getting truly ridiculous. And just so, oh God, like this is going to be my soggy toast probably till the end of the year because they're never going to take him out of shortstop. Gleyber Torres is going to have like 50 to 100 errors at short. So he'll have like one a game at least. And it's going to really piss me off. I know it. I just know it. I just know it's going to happen. You know why? Because it's me and it's the Yankees and this shit always happens. So this is exactly what's going to happen.
Now, you have the Golden Glove Award, but if it is the case, and he has 100 or so errors, as you're saying, Torres, do you think they'll like name like a very terrible award after him for his terrible play at shortstop?
They should, and you know what? It's not even the poor kid's fault. It's really not. It's just he's playing out of position. Honestly, give it to Boone. Give it to Boone for worst manager of the year award. Give it to freaking Aaron Boone.
Listen, and I feel for the guy for playing out of position too, because I played pretty good baseball. I played second base. That was my position. So I feel for a fellow second baseman that plays out of position, because I played second base most of my life, and that's where I got comfortable with. And like even when I was doing like heavy traveling with baseball, to the point where I was actually down in Alex Chick's neck of the woods, down in Midland, Texas, for a tournament, which if we had, played better there, I would have been in the Little League World Series that you see on TV. I could have been in that, but we sucked too much. We weren't that good. Okay. Colorado and Arizona just had much, much better teams than what we were, which I've always been curious if, I ran into, any future pros down there. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I wasn't paying too much attention. I was having a blast. I was in Texas playing baseball. Okay. I was living the dream. All right. Although bad memories with that, because off topic here, but that one, I was playing third base. So it does make sense here. I was playing third base. I was out of position. I'm on literally the complete opposite end of the infield. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I was sick and tired of playing that position. I'm like, Coach, I played second base my entire life. Please let me go back to second base. And he's like, no, I needed third baseman. You're going to be third baseman. And someone else who I like better is going to be second base. I'm like, well, screw you. That sucks. But anyway, the field we played in was awful because it was a turf infield. Okay. 100% of it was turf. 100% of that, not just the infield,
those are the worst.
Outfield too.
Those are the worst.
It was like 100% turf field.
Those are the worst fields ever.
Didn't even have dirt. Okay. Like the base paths were turf. A kid's shoes melted to the turf, because this is Midland, Texas, in the middle of the summer. Kid's shoes melted. Terrible. Like the plastic part of his cleats melted because he was out there in the middle of the day. It was like 1 or 2 o'clock. We had to pause a game because one of the umpire that was there umping our game had a heat stroke, like a legitimate heat stroke. The guy had to be rushed to the hospital because he passed out behind the plate.
Freaking Texas, man.
But anyway, again, I feel for a fellow second baseman that's not used to making those throws, because the furthest throw I have to make is like on a double play where I'm the man, where I would be the man, where it's like hit the third base or the shortstop. That's the furthest I got to throw. Okay. And so his arm's not used to throwing at that distance. The shortstop plays even deeper than what third base does. So he's got to throw it even more. He's got a lot of ground to cover on there. And at least it was in my case too. I always had to make sure to stay back even further than what I needed to be. Because kids, for some reason, most of them were left-handed, or they were right-handed hitters. So they batted, right side, and, they always pulled, and it was hardest hit down third base, in between third base and the shortstop. I don't know what the statistics are about it in the majors. I feel like it's pretty 50-50, but for us, it was always left side of the field. We mostly play right-handed, or, right-handed players. So when they're batting on with the right hand, and then they're pulling it down the left field line. So that was always tough, because I wasn't used to the balls coming at me as fast. I used to, have a little bit of extra time, and anticipation for balls coming at me at second base. So I feel for the guy. And, when you're second guessing yourself out there on the field, then you start second guessing yourself out there at the plate. So again, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Same thing with me is like, I'm playing a position that I'm not used to. So immediately I'm getting in my own head. And if I make a mistake, now I'm even more in my head and more in the hole, and I'm second guessing myself, and I'm going to make more mistakes on the field, and I'm going to stare at fastballs going right down the middle, and I'm going to suffer at the plate. So I feel for him.
Yeah.
Now that means he still sucks, because I sucked. Like getting down to that tournament when he switched me over to third base, I started to suck. Okay. I was probably the worst player out there. I was like middle of the pack. Like when we were getting into that getting close to that tournament, and a couple other tournaments, we went up to the point. But when we got down to Texas, I sucked. All right. I am man enough to admit that I sucked really bad at that tournament. It was not, I mean, I had fun playing baseball.
Yeah.
And I never claimed to be an amazing baseball player, but that tournament was probably, that and the state tournament that I was in was like the two worst tournaments I ever was at baseball. I'm not even going to talk about the state tournament. I still have like PTSD from that. It's just like, that was a bad experience. So we're not going to talk about that. Me, I'm the soggy toast.
Yeah. Oh man.
13-year-old Jackson.
Sorry about that,
Real
Jackson.
soggy toast.
Terrible.
No, you're fine, dude. You're fine. I'm over it. I know it doesn't seem like I'm over it, but I'm over it. But my soggy toast is going to be, and it's not from anyone doing anything bad. It's just sad and unfortunate. And we kind of talked about it, I think, a little bit earlier, mentioned it offhand. But Jamal Murray tearing his ACL. It's sad, dude.
Yeah.
I love Jamal Murray. I love me some Murray. I love me some Nuggets. And things were working out well for them since the Aaron Gordon trade. And this pretty much kind of kills any dream that they had. And it sucks.
Yeah.
It's like they're out there getting interest in Isaiah Thomas and Austin Rivers. Like, that sucks, dude. Yeah. That's how down bad the Nuggets are. They're like Isaiah Thomas coming off a 10-day, like the first time he's played an NBA game in 2 years, and then Austin Rivers, like, that's your replacement for Jamal Murray, who's been balling and averaging career highs this year. And again, it's nothing of his own fault. And it kind of goes back to, there's been a lot more reports now of like owners and management in the NBA are getting really worried about this season, because we're already seeing like a ton of players sit out, and a lot of players are sitting out longer than what they should be.
Yep.
Because KD sat out like a really long time, like a lot longer than anyone thought he would. And most of it has to deal with the fact that they're not, like, there's no breaks in between games. There's no, like, I've got some stats right here. And to bring up my Memphis Grizzlies again, in 9.5 weeks from the middle of March, the All-Star break, to the end of the season, my Memphis Grizzlies have been scheduled to play 22 sets of 3 games in 4 nights.
That's crazy.
It's nuts. And it's the reason why, like, some core rotation players for the Grizzlies have been out so long. Like, DeAnthony Melton is, like, his nickname's Mr. Do Something. That's what everyone in the Grizz sphere calls him, because he's a Swiss Army knife out there. He'll get you a steal, he'll get you a bucket, he'll get you a stop, he'll get you an assist, he'll get you a rebound. He does everything. He's been out a lot longer than what he should be with soreness. Justice Winslow was starting to get back into a groove because he finally got back from being injured, and he's been out for a couple weeks now. Why? And it's because they don't get a break. Their bodies aren't getting to heal, and it's leading to these more severe injuries that we're starting to see. And Jamal Murray is an unfortunate. It's unfortunate. There's no other way to put it. And then, to take it to your Lakers, it's like AD's been out a really long time.
Oh God, dude,
like,
I can't even remember last time AD's
It's crazy played. How long AD has been out.
Yeah,
because people were talking about, it'll be a few weeks, maybe a month, no big deal.
Supposed to come back like the day after the All-Star break.
Yeah,
and the All-Star break was a month ago.
And LeBron's hinting at a comeback, but I mean, he's still not back. Like, they were thinking 10 games tops, and it's going past 10 games.
Like 6-8 weeks. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And AD was like, it's like 3 months now he's missed. He missed basically half the season.
I know. And a lot of that also is the fact, you have the stars that are like, the regular season doesn't matter anyway, so just stay healthy for the later parts of the season and then get ready for the playoffs. But
yeah, I
mean, at the same time, it's like, it kind of makes you worried almost, because teams don't have to be as teams don't have to be as forthcoming with their injuries as we'd like them to be, because they can just give a blanket statement. But when you have star players that are missing significant amounts of time, then either A, you're just holding them out, and that sucks for the league, and Adam Silver would need to jump on that. Because it's like, you can't just hold out Anthony Davis. It's like, we need Anthony Davis and LeBron out there because we need money. We can't, It can't be at the bottom of the screen when you're watching one ESPN game. It can't say coming next on ESPN, Tuesday night basketball. It can't be Giannis Antetokounmpo versus Dennis Schroeder and the Lakers. Like, you can't have that.
Or
they can't have that. How do you sell that?
When they played the Nets, it was come see Kevin Durant against Kyle Kuzma and the Lakers.
Like how do you sell that? How do you sell that? Like, it's supposed to be Giannis versus LeBron, Giannis versus AD, KD versus AD. Like, those are the showdowns we want to see. So it's like either A, they're holding them out and they're ruining the product, or B, these guys are really hurt and no one's talking about it. And ESPN put out an article today that it's like management from all the teams, they are all speaking out. Mark Cuban especially is obviously extremely vocal, but everyone's been talking about it. And it's like all ownership, all management is worried across the board. Every team in the league is on edge right now, especially for these teams that are competing, because it's like in the instance of like the Lakers, what if you rush AD out there and he tears something and he's done for the season? What does that do to your championship? What does that do to your championship run? You probably don't win the championship without AD. Like, yes, you'll have LeBron and the rest of that crew and you'll win a playoff series, but you won't make it very far. And even if you make it to the finals, you're going to have the Nets, and that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't have won last year without Anthony Davis. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, and then the Nuggets, they were looking really good. They looked like they were going to jump up in the standings, get a good, seeding, and it looked like Jokic was the front runner for MVP. What's that going to do to Jokic's MVP chances when the Nuggets start dropping in the series? Because whenever LeBron finally comes back, you'll see the Lakers jump back up, and the fact that their starting point guard is gone, one of the key parts of their offense. I'd say Jokic is the motor of that offense, but Jamal Murray is a key part of that offense, and he's not going to be there anymore. And so it just sucks. There's no other way to put it. Yeah. I know it's been going on for a long time, but it sucks. Sucks for Jamal Murray. It sucks for Nuggets fans. And every NBA fan needs to be down on their knees praying, please God, do not let anybody else get hurt, because we miss basketball and we've finally gotten it back. We're finally getting a full season, and it doesn't even feel like we're getting a full season, because it was like the same article was talking about like 16%, over 16% of the All-Stars from this year's All-Star game are currently out, and even more than that have missed significant time this season.
Yeah, it's very concerning that they've been like they crunched all these games into it. You got a bunch of guys that just they get hurt, and you say, oh, it's only supposed to be like a week or 2 weeks, and they end up being out for 2 months, 3 months. I mean, Anthony Davis, his injury originally wasn't supposed to be that bad, and the next thing I know, all of a sudden the guy's like nowhere to be seen. And Kevin Durant, all he did was pull his hamstring, and you had New York sports radio, they were starting to talk about, I wonder if KD tore his hamstring with how long he's been out. He missed 20 games with a pulled hamstring. He was only supposed to miss like 2 weeks.
And there's like no real incentive right now to bring him back, because let me read a bit in the article again here real quick, that from the All-Star break through the end of the season, there are several teams that have 5 games in 7-day sets. The Grizzlies have 8, Spurs 7, Pistons 5, Rockets 5, and Mavericks 5. And then over the course of the season, during the first half, on average, each team played about 1 of these 5 games and 7-day stretches. In the second half of the season, every team across the league, on average, will be playing 3 5-game and 7-day sets.
Yeah,
and that's crazy. Not all at home. That is like, that's literally, you are playing 2 games back to back at home, then like skip a day, another day, skip a day, and then, but that day is you're traveling somewhere, and then you play back to back games there.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I think I know the Nets yesterday they played the T-Wolves yesterday at 4:00 in the afternoon. Right after the game, they got on the plane, flew to Philly, and go and play the Sixers tonight. Both
Yep.
like no one's playing. The only one that was playing was Kyrie, but no Harden, no Griffin, no KD, and no Aldridge.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
What's up?
They really didn't think this through, because if they're tired, they're traveling, it's COVID, their immune system's going to eventually, they're going to be tired, and their immune system might go down if they're not keeping up with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like they're at higher risk for COVID now too. So I don't know what the NBA was thinking on that, but
and I feel like I'm starting to see it in the play too. I feel like games are there's either no defense or no offense in every game now.
Yeah.
It's like games are either outrageously high scoring because no one wants to put the effort on defense, or games are ridiculously low scoring because no one is giving any effort at all.
Yeah.
Because everyone's tired. Everyone's dragging.
right.
There's no time to decompress. There's no time to let your body heal. Like Anthony said, you just went and you played 40 minutes of basketball against some of the most athletic people on the planet at 4:00 in the afternoon. And then you're hopping on a plane right after that and flying to Philly to get ready for another game. And it's like, you haven't really had time. Like, you can do basic things like, put on an icy hot or something, a heating pad, for a sore spot on your body. But then after that, like, there's no real, like, no real day to decompress. There's no day to just, like, have a light practice, work out the soreness, do some stretching, go visit the trainer for like 3 hours, get some light workouts in to, like, you keep those muscles, strong and in shape. But then it's like, at the same time, you're also getting a break. You don't get that right now. And it's hurting the players. It's hurting the performance. It's hurting the game. This may be a terrible finals when it's all said and done. This may not be that great of a finals because those two teams are going to be so tired, especially if you've got 6-7 game series all the way through. It's going to be interesting to see. We got less than 20 games, I think, now until the end of the season, but sheesh.
Yeah, it's going to be a real rough stretch to get through the rest of the season. They just want the season to end just so that they can start afresh the next year and just call it even. Get back to normal. But hey, you know what? I'm just hoping and praying that AD and LeBron, when they do come back, they're both good to go when they're fine.
Grizzlies have been out with Jaren all season, and this is kind of the reason why there's no real good time to put him in the lineup. And even if you do, it's going to have to sit like 5 games because you don't want him to play like 4 games in a 5 to 7 day stretch. Like,
exactly.
That's awful. He's coming off of a meniscus surgery. You don't want to throw him back into that.
Yeah, no, 100%. Anyway, so moving on, before I get to Toast of the Week, we're going to take a quick break right here.
The following broadcast is brought to you in association by XP Coffee Company. XP Coffee Company is the fresh brewed coffee made for gamers by gamers. Get amazing flavors like Choco Loco in 8, 12, or 16-ounce bags, or level up and get Illusion, Isolation, Nightmare, or the Majestic Throne blends in light, medium, or dark roast in whole bean, coarse French press, drip, or fine espresso in 12-ounce, 16-ounce, or 2-pound bags. Wow! Shipping worldwide. If you're in the U.S., go to usa.xpcoffee.co. If you're in Europe or in the U.K., go to www.xpcoffee.co. XP Coffee Company, for gamers, by gamers.
My toast of the week this week is the manager and the general manager of my team, the New York Yankees. It's Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman. Boy, I don't even know where to begin on this. I guess I'll start from the top. Brian Cashman constructed this lineup like a freaking dumbass. Okay, we got Yankee Stadium, who's literally, the stadium is built for a left-handed lineup. We have the short porch and right. So what does Brian Cashman do? Build a lineup of entire righties. Everybody is a righty except for maybe a couple guys, except for like Gardy, Hicks, and we just got like that's really it. Those are all the lefties we really have. Mike Talkman. I mean, but he doesn't play. He's a backup. He's a fourth outfielder, so he doesn't matter. We got a bunch of right-handed guys, and that's that's the reason that Hicks is being put so high up in the lineup that I gotta sit there and watch this guy strike out in the first inning with 2 outs all the time because we got this guy sitting in the third hole. And the third hole back in the day used to be your best hitter, and Aaron Hicks is far from our best hitter, but he's playing in the third hole just because they need to break up Judge and Stanton with the 2 righties. Well, you know what, Cashman? Why didn't you just get some more lefties? Why did you sign all these righties and just be like, yeah, no, we're good? Like, what do you mean, man? No, we're good. It's ridiculous. We got a stadium where the right field seats is an advantage for us, and we don't even use it. It's crazy to me. I mean, back in the day, we had guys like Robbie Cano, Mark Teixeira, switch hitter. Robbie Cano was lefty. Nick Swisher was switch hitter. Derek Jeter used to hit the other way like nobody's business. I mean, even A-Rod used to hit the other way a lot. Now we got guys that just Giancarlo Stanton, God, if he will never hit an out. I can name on my hand the amount of times I've seen Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run the other way. Like, if he doesn't pull the ball or hit it dead center, he won't. He's not hitting a home run, or it's not going anywhere. And Judge is almost the same way, because I don't know what happened with Judge. All of a sudden, he got into this thing where, like, people were getting on his case about not pulling balls for home runs, which I really could care less as long as the ball so went out. So now he's like just pulling the ball all the time, hitting it to center field. I mean, I just like to see guys hit the other way and just, take advantage. I mean, the only guy who you saw consistently do that was Derek Jeter. DJ LeMahieu does it now. He does it to the best of his abilities, but I mean, DJ LeMahieu is probably the best player on our team, in my opinion. I got nothing as bad to say about him. But Brian Cashman really makes me freaking sick. He really does. I'm telling you, at the trade deadline, if Brian Cashman does not make a trade, it doesn't even have to be a blockbuster trade. I just want to get, like, it's got to be a mid-level trade, though. I'm not saying you got to go crazy, but it's got to be mid-level. We got to get some improvement. We got to get a lefty bat in here. We got to get somebody somewhere. Okay, you need to do something, because 3 years in a row we got nothing at the deadline when we clearly needed help in the bullpen and in the starting pitching, and he didn't get either one. So we're gonna need something this year, buddy. Okay, you're gonna have to get off of your stingy hands. Oh my God, I'm so sick of him. And he goes, why don't you go sleep outside Yankee Stadium like a homeless guy some more, please? Please do me the favor, because that's how you act. You're like one of the richest guys in the world, and you don't act like it when you want to trade people. So I don't know, whatever. Since Cashman really bothers the hell out of me.
Since when was it a knock to hit opposite? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you're getting hits, you're getting hits, man.
It was 2 years ago. It was like 2 years ago. People on Twitter, they were like, Judge isn't pulling the ball. Why isn't he pulling the ball? Like, oh my God, like, that's terrible. I was like, it was really stupid. And then I don't know, like, Judge now he's like barely wants to hit the other
ball
way.
Means you got a good lick on it, but listen, home runs. If I'm a right-handed hitter, home runs hitting it the opposite way, it's the same. It counts the same as if I hit it. If I pull it to left or I hit it dead center.
In Yankee Stadium, in Yankee Stadium, it's a shorter distance to right field than it is to left field.
Yeah, I just don't understand. And guess what? You want to hit it that shorter distance. You want to hit it in the areas where it's a shorter distance for the home run with the new baseballs that they've implemented that takes a little bit out of the ball when it's hit in the air. I've seen a couple of balls hit off the top of the wall that would have been home runs last year, but they're not because of the new balls taken off. Like, just a little bit. And then it's like, and that was literally the difference. It was literally a 1, 2, 3 foot difference between a home run and a double. And that's what it turned into. It
normally is. Yeah.
So you want to hit it to that. You want to hit it to that short right side of Yankee Stadium. And if I'm a Yankees fan complaining about that, it's like, would you rather Aaron Judge not hit a home run? Like, would you rather him?
Yeah,
He's got a man on second.
Like
he's got a man on second. Would you want him to pull it and like it be foul, or it like get caught in the warning track in left field? Or would you rather him hit it the same length in right field, but you hit it the same length in right field, then it's out of here and you're up 2 runs?
Yep.
Like, that just doesn't make any sense. People don't make any sense anymore. People just criticize anything just to criticize it.
Yeah,
that's absolutely stupid.
Exactly. Just like people who don't make any sense is Aaron freaking Boone. Well, I'm so sick of Aaron Boone. I wrote a post way back in like October that I was calling for Aaron Boone's job because he's just a complete idiot and a moron. When he takes guys out of the game at the complete wrong time. Come playoff time, this man does not know how to manage a bullpen. He does not know how to manage a starting pitching staff. He doesn't know how to put a freaking goddamn lineup together. You should have seen what the hell we dragged out there today. God, it was abysmal. I have Brett Gardner in the freaking 3-hole. Like, why, bro? Why is Brett Gardner hitting 3? It was the worst lineup I've ever seen. Ever. Bro, Aaron Boone does this all the time. And he does shit in the playoffs too. And that really bothers me because in the playoffs, he'll let a pitcher go way longer than he should, or he'll do some stupid crap. And like when he pulled Davy Garcia in the first inning, after David Garcia had a good first inning, pulls David Garcia after the first inning, who only let up 1 run, which was fine because we ended up tying it, to bring in J Happ, or as I like to call him, J.A. Crap, because that's exactly what J.A. Crap was on this team. He was crap. He sucked. He was terrible. It was a horrible bring in to begin with. He wasn't even, he was bad. And you know what? He actually had me fooled at the end of last season because he started to really play well. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe this guy helps us out in the playoffs. What does he do in his one opportunity? Goes and gives up like 4 runs in 2 1/3 innings. I'm like, this guy is freaking horrible. And I got to sit there and watch it. And Aaron Boone just sits there, and I swear to everything. If I hear Aaron Boone talk about this, we're turning the corner crap, I swear to God, I'm going down to Yankee Stadium and I'm going to slap him right upside his stupid face. If I got to listen to this guy talk about turning a freaking corner again. Enough with this shit about turning a corner. That's all I heard. That Yankee fans are pissed about that one like 2 years ago when we got off to a slow start too. And he kept saying, oh, we're going to be turning the corner soon. Like, just shut the hell up. Just tell me you guys suck and you'll be better. Just please tell me that. I would feel so much better if you just said that. Oh,
yeah, you're turning the corner,
right,
but you still got like 100 corners to turn until you get to where you want to go. You're not, it's not a turn and then a one-way street. It's a turn to just get to the next corner of the maze.
No.
Two
wrongs don't make a right. 3 rights make a left.
There you go. My toast of the week also involves a former Yankee, but it's not necessarily about him. But it's just it's the number 1 overall pick in this last year's draft, Anthony Edwards, not knowing who Alex Rodriguez is.
Oh my God, it's bro! Just, like, how? How do you not know what Alex Rodriguez is?
Like, I mean, I get it that you didn't watch baseball, but did you live under a rock
You don't have to watch baseball to know who A-Rod is.
Exactly.
I mean,
you know who J-Lo is, then you know who Alex Rodriguez is. Okay, like 100%. Even there are people out there that are obsessed with J-Lo and that sphere of humanity in America and pop culture. They know who Alex Rodriguez is. They don't know him really as the baseball player. They just know him. Oh, that's J-Lo's husband who played baseball. Yeah, that guy. They know who he is. And if anything, he admitted that he knew that Rodriguez was going to be the new owner of the team. Could you not do a quick Google search? Like, just look on your phone real quick. Get some facts to BS your way through that question. You could be like, really. Yeah, he was a great baseball player, excited to see what he brings, to the organization. That's it. That's all you have to say. That's your answer. That's how you BS your way through it. But still, how do you not know who Alex friggin' Rodriguez is? Blows my mind.
ridiculous.
Did he just not watch Sports Center anything growing up? Like the dude was born in the 2000s, but still he should have been watching some ESPN, at least kind of in the downslide of its heyday.
Hey,
but
listen,
Rodriguez was still playing.
A-Rod was
he'd still know who he was.
Would remember that.
Yeah, so
A-Rod was still in his prime when Anthony Edwards would remember that. So he's crazy for that. I mean, this is coming from the guy who right before the draft had to talk about how he doesn't love basketball and he can rap. He can rap though. He's
like, I just play basketball because I'm good at it.
Because I'm good at it.
It made it to the NBA. Yeah, you're good at it. I'd say you're good at basketball.
Oh God, this is I don't get that one. That just doesn't make sense.
Baby, y'all, that's the issue. That's the only reason, right?
Crazy. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I'll go into my prediction for next week because I'm about to have a heart attack. My blood pressure is probably through the roof because I've just been screaming and yelling for about an hour and a half. So I will go into my prediction next week. Next week, my prediction is that I'm still going to be angry. The New York Yankees are still going to piss me off, and I'm going to come back here and I'm probably going to rant about some more things. And yeah,
that's not a prediction.
I'm just still going to be angry next week.
That's just going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, probably is just a fact. It is just a fact. I mean, you might as well say it is a fact. I'm like the Hulk. I'm always angry. So let me not even. I'm always. What's your secret? Come on, Cap. I'm always angry. Like that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, it's ironic. He says that line in New York too. So
yeah, he
there you
does.
Go.
It's in New York. Everybody who's born in New York and lives here for more than 18 years, you become inherently angry. And that's just what your attitude is the entire time. You're just always mad.
Real quickly before we get to my prediction, I saw a video today. It was of two New Yorkers in traffic screaming at each other, and like the caption was like life is healing or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that, because you got New Yorkers traveling screaming at each other.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not an angry driver. Literally, the second I get into Manhattan, it's bad. My window is wide open. I'm screaming at drivers. I couldn't even tell you how many times I got love tapped by cabs and me getting out the car and screaming at them because you just that's why I only drive to Manhattan maybe once or twice a year, and because I can't stand doing it. I hate it.
Just sounds awful. It just sounds awful.
I hate it. It's the worst.
All right. So my prediction, not for next week, but is just kind of, me, I like to do big general sweeping predictions here now, bold takes, bold strokes only. But it's going to be about a team that was having a great season, plagued by injuries. So probably going to fall out of the playoffs, and it's the Charlotte Hornets. And then that's my take, is the Charlotte Hornets. Not only are they not going to make the playoffs, I think when all is said and done, I don't even think they make the play-in games. And Hayward's been down for a bit now. And then LaMelo Ball, who really was rejuvenizing this franchise to the point where they were the 4 seed. They were the 4 seed at one point. They have fallen back down after their loss tonight, all the way down back to the 8 seed. They are 27-27. And I think it's better for them, honestly. Fall out, get into the lottery, see if you can maybe jump up a spot or two, get into the top 10. This is a pretty loaded draft, but they can go out, get themselves a good complementary player, be it another wing scorer. They're kind of in need of a big right now because their starting big is Cody Zeller and they have Bismack Biyombo, and that's not a winning duo.
No, not by any stretch.
They're gonna be they were too good early in the season to now when they start sucking for like the final 15, 17 games or whatever. Unless they hit the lottery and get a top 3 pick, they're probably not getting Evan Mobley. There's a couple other bigs that aren't as good as Mobley, but can be serviceable that I think that they could get. And could be worth a top, 10, 12 pick, a lottery pick. But yeah, so that is my prediction. The Hornets, not only do they fall out of the playoffs, they do not make the play-in game, but a caveat to that is also that I think they will be a playoff team next season.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just bad luck, honestly. I mean, LaMelo goes down. His timetable to return was either out for the season, or they said he may possibly be able to make it back before the playoffs. But if they start sliding, I think Michael Jordan.
Yeah, at this point,
don't
it's
play the
more
game.
than likely they'll just keep him out.
Yeah,
They'll let the slide happen, because you saw what they were when they were fully healthy, which was the fourth seed out east.
They
were there.
Team in the East, man. They were actually doing. They were doing great.
So no, the Hornets have a bright future ahead of them. Go ahead, as much as it sucks, slide in this draft.
Yeah,
and get a top 10 pick. You'll at least get a lottery pick. There'll be good guys available. It's a stacked draft. Not a lot of people. I don't want to say people forget about that, but I think they just don't think about it too much. That it's there could be 20 players go in the first round that not only see significant minutes next season, but are legitimately helping their teams next year.
Yeah. It'll be a good draft. So in the Hornets' best interest, it'll be to slide. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Also, you guys can go on Symbol, as we were talking about before. Use our promo code, get a $10 deposit bonus, and just watch your stocks go to the moon. Because there's only one way they can go, and that's up. Anyway, guys, see you next week. Always a pleasure.